Texting 12609. Mayday from Celtic Nation. We will get to the Mayday at the back half of this segment. Welcome back to IDD. I don't disagree for those of you in the not so known. That is the redoubtable one, Tom Izzo. I am the highly questioned one, Audrey Miliaccio. Quick hitter tonight. Big Thursday night throwdown in the NFC North. Between the steel curtain and the what do you call them?
That is not the steel curtain.
Not anymore. No. Well, when Watt was there, it looked there was some resemblance to it.
And I'm still in the same outfit as I was last night.
I love that about you. Don't ever change. I mean, eventually you have to change that.
I work from home.
I love that about I as do I.
Why would I wake up and change?
I wouldn't.
I showered last night before the show.
I noticed that. I did. In any event. Our first and only segment tonight, we were going to preview the two games we did not get to last night, two of the bigger ones on the schedule. You notice I'm wearing the hat on this one. We're going to start with the Patriots and the Ravens. This is a big one, and this is a real big one because that AFC, as we have alluded to on many occasions, and most of you are starting to figure out, is loaded. I mean, there are 16 teams in that conference. I would argue 11 of them are good. Maybe 12, okay? And there are 4 bums, but there are 12. That's 12 is deep. You're 12 deep. You're 12 deep.
And even the bums, like the Texans, I thought were awful.
They're really not.
They've actually played decent games.
They've been in both games. They really have. Mm-hmm. So I can't knock them for fighting because we know they're undermanned. They don't have a quarterback. Their quarterback is suspended forever in Cleveland for shit that he actually. It's not forever.
That franchise is mismanaged for years now.
It has been. It has been. So, but in any event, Ravens going up to Foxborough. Lamar Jackson, Bill Belichick. Mac Jones and the crew up there trying to get to 2-1 in a very, very loaded and very deep, talented AFC.
Interesting game.
It's a very interesting game, and it's a game that's going to be, because when you talk about these playoff seedings at the end, these conference, it's division and then conference record. So these interconference games are going to mean more this year probably than in recent memory because there's so many good teams in this conference. I got not slammed, but some text today that I received from some of you who will be seeing this later, and I saw your text. Okay, I'm not going to mention your name because I'm pissed at you, but that's why part of why I'm doing it.
What did you get slammed for? Not covering it?
Not really talking about it. So
we were trying to rush through that second.
We were, and that's okay because honestly. We do Thursday shows too sometimes, so it's not a big deal. But it is a big game, you're right, and we need to talk about it. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are reeling after giving up a 21-point lead at home to the Dolphins. The Patriots had a big win on the road at Pittsburgh to right the ship after their offense couldn't get out of their own way in Miami 2 weeks ago, and their defense played well enough to win. So, look, the keys to this Sunday will be real simple with this, because to me it is real simple. We have talked about how sometimes you can line up and you're better and you don't have to overcomplicate it. This is a game that Bill Belichick does not have to overcomplicate, okay? The Patriots can literally, with all the weapons, all they spent this money on, they can go 5 wide. The Ravens secondary, most people don't know this, Tom. You're going to love this. Fun fact number 1 of the evening. The Ravens have the worst pass defense in the league over the last season. They've given over 5,000 yards passing.
Well, I know it because I had their defense in fantasy last year.
Well, you got bludgeoned. You got bludgeoned with it.
And anybody who saw that game against the Dolphins last week, I mean, when you have a 3-score lead and you can't hold a team...
You can't.
You let
the cheetah run full speed down, and no one checks him. No one checks him.
I think they gave up 170 yards and 2 scores to both receivers last week.
They both were at 170 plus. In fact, one was 190, one was 170, and they both. Yeah, that's insane. And look, they're very good. Look, they're talented. They're both Pro Bowl cover. But you got to play a zone, a shell, a 2 deep, a prevent. You got to keep them in front of you.
Yeah.
You got to keep. You got to. I don't know how you don't. I mean, that's ridiculous. Look, the Belichick did it a week before, and I know Belichick's a defensive guy, and that's his thing. But it can be done. And that should have been the blueprint. They held that offense to 13 points. The Ravens clearly didn't even look at that tape. Okay, so, and that's not about you. That's just playing a zone, a shell over the top, and making those guys come down, go 12, 13 play drives. The Ravens, for whatever reason, didn't do that, and they paid for it. So they paid dearly for it. If I am the Patriots, listen, and I'm also, and I said this on a text to Sean Darcy, who I know is going to be watching this. Sean, I know you care. Listen, here's the thing. I sent it this afternoon when Tom was the kids at soccer. I called to the Mass State Police. I put out an APB for tight end Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. I am told the search has begun, and they will have them in the stadium Sunday at 1 o'clock. Now, what Matt Patricia's going to do with them is anybody's guess. Okay, but
what a mistake.
But let me tell you something right now. Here's what Matt Patricia doesn't seem to understand. Okay, for you pages, here's what you need to know: $87.5 million. 87.
On who, though?
Point on those two tight ends.
Say it again. Say their names.
87, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith.
Okay.
$87.5 million. Last week, they were targeted 3 times combined.
That's awful.
And they were both healthy. That is disgusting. They got away with it against. They didn't get away with it against Miami when Hunter Henry only got 2 catches for 20 yards. I didn't even know where Jonnu Smith was. I didn't know he was on the field.
They need to go back to the style when they had Gronk
2
and
tight ends set,
yeah.
and they have a running game.
Yeah.
If you have a running game, the 2 tight ends set, where Brady killed people. And Mac Jones can read defenses. He's proven it. He can make every throw. He's proven it. That you've got the weapons. This kid, the Aguilar, 10 catches, 110 yards. You got a deep threat now.
He had 10 last week?
He had 10 catches, 6 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
Okay, so they have a deep threat now. And when the Baylor burner comes back, the kid who runs a 4.2, you're going to have 2 of them. Okay.
Did he pull a hammy in preseason?
He's going to be out for it was 4 to 6 weeks. He should be back by week 6.
What did he do?
It was an ankle, I believe. It wasn't a hamstring. I think it was an ankle. So anyway, but he's going to be back. So you got 1 burner, you're going to have 2. In the meantime, you got these 2 tight ends. They're both healthy, and you have 2 good running backs. Why on earth they're not going 2 tight end set, single back eye, and running play action out of this? I have no idea. But I better see it on Sunday. Or come Sunday night, I'm going to make him come out here and do his show tonight because I'm going to rip Bill Belichick a new one and say, if he doesn't do it.
I'll give you that. I'll agree
because
to that.
Honestly, you can't waste talent like that. And they are openly wasting talent like that. And I can't stomach it anymore. They're 1-1. They're in this thing, and this is a game they have to win if they want to make a playoff run. This is the one that'll bite them in the ass at the end of the year if they blow it now. So they're at home. They've got this team that can't stop a nosebleed in the passing game. If you line up and start running the ball 50 times, I'm going to blow my stack. Because you don't need to do it to beat this team. You have the weapons on the outside. You have the weapons at the tight end spot. Okay, this is a no-brainer. Do what you need to do to win this game and turn Mac Jones loose. I'm getting sick and tired of this dink and dunk bullshit where you can go down the field. He can make every throw. And defensively, here's what you also have to do. You have to make Lamar Jackson prove to the world that he is accurate. So how do you do that? You play the 2 deep shell you played against the Dolphins, and you make this kid sit in the pocket, which he doesn't want to do. And you make him throw 15 to 20 yards over the linebacker, under the safety, into tight windows.
Do you keep somebody spying on him?
Oh, of course you do. Because he's not going to go through. He's going to get to 2 reads and go, fuck it, and go. You have to have a guy on him. The Patriots have gotten faster, to their credit. Belichick, I think, at least they look like a much faster team in the secondary. They close quickly. They tackle well. That looks good. And it does. It looks good. Okay? Now here's your test. Because this kid, the last time he faced him, threw for 3 touchdowns, threw for 300-something yards, and ran for $116 and another touchdown last time he faced him.
Okay?
That was in Baltimore a couple years ago. Okay, Brady's last year here.
Okay.
The bottom line is he had no defense for him, much like he had no defense for Josh Allen last year. So that's the game plan.
He struggles with a mobile quarterback who also has an arm, sounds like.
He does lately.
Because that's the thing about Lamar is like, he can throw the ball.
Well, he's got the strength.
Right.
He can throw the bomb. Can he throw the 15 to 20 in the tight window? I've never really seen him do that.
Yeah.
And I think you need to make him do it. Because if he can do that because at least that way they got to go on 10, 12 play drives. He wants to strike quick like they did against the Dolphins. Because the Dolphins fell asleep at the wheel too. They got behind them too. Okay, which is why I was mad at the Patriots. How did they not try this until the one in the fourth quarter when they finally found Kendrick Bourne? 41 yards was the longest pass attempt of the day. Who was game planning for that, Matt Patricia? Because Mac Jones has the arm. That's crap.
Yeah.
So anyway, we need to see this on Sunday or the Pats are in trouble, big time. Okay, as far as the Tampa Bay-Green Bay game, look, this comes down to, because Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any receivers that he wants, but he's stuck with them. Tom Brady can't get the receivers he wants because they're either injured or suspended. Okay?
I feel like Tampa's going to win that game.
Well, here's the thing. There's two questions you got to ask. Who has the better defense?
Tampa.
It's Tampa. And which quarterback is used to playing this kind of style?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady has. Tom Brady has done more with less than any quarterback in the history of this league. Fred Coleman, okay, David Patton, okay. Troy Brown was the last pick in the entire draft, and he turned into a household name up in New England.
He made Danny Amendola.
Wes Welker was a cast-off in Miami. He turned him into a borderline Hall of Famer. Julian Edelman, 7th-round pick. Tom Brady has literally taken chicken shit and turned it into chicken salad.
Aldi chicken salad.
Aldi, yes, very good.
Which despite being cheap, is
quite succulent.
Amazing. On a bagel?
On a bagel. So what you're looking for Sunday down in Tampa Bay is run the ball with Leonard Fournette. Hey, the Packers are going to put 8 in the box. Go ahead. Okay? And by the way,
so?
yeah, because they don't think Brady has the. Here's the thing: the Packers don't see him but every 4 years. They don't understand that Brady has no problem playing this.
God, I would never put it in the Bucs.
Not against Tom Brady, I wouldn't.
That's just
Okay.
dumb.
And I laughed at what's his name? Can't wait. What's that clown's name? Bart Scott.
What did he say?
Well, in this kind of a game, the guy with the fleeted foot is the better weapon. He gets away. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
Not from that defense.
The guy who can get the ball out in 2 seconds is the guy that's Tom Brady.
Dude, the linebackers on Tampa are not going to let him.
Aaron Rodgers ain't going to be able to scramble against that speed. That team is built on speed. He ain't going to outrun them at 38. He couldn't outrun them at 28.
And they have everybody, right?
And they have that defense is healthy, and it's playing like it did 2 years ago when they won the Super Bowl. And all Tom Brady has to do is hand the ball to Leonard Fournette and get the ball out. He'll go into the shotgun. That ball will be gone before that pass rush is past the freaking line of scrimmage. Because
does Green Bay have a good pass rush?
I
haven't really watched
They
them.
do. But their secondary is not the strength of that team. Mm-hmm. They have a good front seven, the back four. And I'll tell you right now, if those guys were healthy, Tampa Bay would destroy them because they can't match up with those three if they're healthy. Right. They cannot. So
you mean if they had all their
If they had the guys if they had Evans, Godwin.
Well, unfortunately, Evans got suspended a game after being ejected from a game.
Yeah, which
I think was a little
I thought the ejection was enough, wasn't it?
Right.
And the other guy does this all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, Evans has a squeaky clean record. He's never had this problem before, but you suspend him for a game. Well, what about the other guy who's done it like 12 times? He should be out for a season with it. That spoil the shit he's pulled because he does it around. He does it with everybody.
Evans has done that same shit though.
Evans
where he
never.
I think it's against this guy. Latimer.
It's only him.
He charged
He's
him.
never had a problem with any other team in this league. It's him. This guy does it with every team in the league.
They hate each other.
They hate each other, and that's fine. But the point is that's football.
Yeah.
There's rivalries, and that's part of what makes the game great. But give me a break. They're football. They're used to tackling each other at 100 miles an hour. That's a bunch of crap. You kick them out of the game. That's fine. Fine them. Okay, fine. Give him a slap on the wrist. Don't suspend him for the next game.
I wanted to show you something on Facebook I saw today about Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Okay, so there was a post. Somebody posted something that said, number of times
Tom Brady's had a top 10 defense.
Top 5 defense, right?
Defense. Brady since
the
age of 40, he's had 5.
Right, but then it said and then it showed Aaron Rodgers, Peyton, that didn't have
Drew
a lot,
Brees,
right?
yeah.
But then somebody commented, number of times you've taken a pay cut since the age of 40.
Yeah.
And it said 5. And then it said 0 for everybody else.
Well,
and it's like,
let's go.
That's why you can have a top-tier defense.
Let's go before 40. Tom Brady has never, I repeat, never been the highest paid player in this league. Think about that for a minute. He's the greatest quarterback ever, arguably the greatest football player ever. He has never, not once, not even 1 year, been the highest paid player in the league. Aaron Rodgers would not take 1 penny less.
And that makes you realize, okay,
it's a team sport.
The reason he's had a top 5
because
because he's allowed some money to get spread around.
And for you dillweeds and dickheads and dewdrops who say, well, he's with Giselle. He was taking pay cuts before he met her. Oh. He was a 3-time champion before they met. They started dating in 07.
Giselle.
He had taken 3 pay cuts before they had left. He didn't met her.
Yeah, she's rich as hell, but still,
this ain't
it's
about
the difference
that.
between 120 million and 150 million.
Yeah. And by the way, those of you scoring home, Tom Brady is now richer than Giselle.
But also, when you're making that much in a sport,
yeah.
your endorsements are probably
you're making over that off the field.
And if you can become a back-to-back champion, your endorsements.
Let me ask you a question. That State Farm Insurance, that commercial that Aaron Rodgers keeps doing,
how
much money do you think he's making on that? Okay, give me a break. Yeah, come on. And Mahomes is in. They're all making bank. Don't give me this stuff. And they've all got contracts with Under Armour and all sorts of crap too. Yeah. They're making millions that you don't even know about.
Salary is like a piece of their wealth.
Yes, exactly. They're a brand, like you know who.
All right, it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock. Okay, real quick.
Let's talk.
The Boston Celtics have officially dropped the ball on their season. Okay? Their title hopes are probably going to go up in smoke because this team is going to be in disarray. And by the way, I ain't going to blame the players on this one. I'm going to blame the front office. This has got to be the most ridiculous freaking penalty for something that's been going on since our parents were our age and younger. Okay? Since before that, since the invention of the workplace. Look I understand policy. I understand HR. And in fact, my wife, and I'm sure you know this, Tom, you have to go tell HR if you're in a relationship. Well, if it's against the rules, I'm not going to go tell HR. Okay? But the bottom line is it's a consensual relationship. I'm not condoning what he did. I know he's got a fiance. I know they have a kid together.
Explain for anybody who doesn't
know. Ime Udoka is engaged to Neil Long. They've been together since 2010. They've been engaged for 7 years. I can just hear the men watching.
Neil Long, the actress?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a fox. I'm a big fan of hers, personally. And the bottom line is Friday. Remember Friday? Yeah, spectacular. Anyway,
I think she was in. Was she in Jason's
Boiler Room? She was in Boiler Room. She was in Slub Jones. She was in
a
ton of stuff. Anyway, the bottom line is Nia Long is an all-time fox, and they have a kid together. They've been together since 2010. They've been engaged for 7 years. Okay, now I guess this past year, how long? I don't know what's been going on. He's only been there a year as head coach, so I guess 1 year. He had a consensual relationship with a female employee in the organization. Okay, consensual is the key word here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, because if it was anything other than that, yeah, then he's suspended pending investigation. It's either rape, it's assault, it's one of those deals. Okay, and she's not underage because you have to be at least over 18 that you're working for.
But the one thing you do have to consider, and it does seem like a pretty severe punishment, although they haven't decided fully yet. They haven't made that decision.
If they do anything more than a fine on this, I wouldn't even say 6. You don't do this to somebody.
But see, here's the one thing you have to take into account is like power dynamics. Because he is, I know he's a head coach, he's not an executive, but like he is a high-ranking person in that organization.
Of course he is, he's the head coach.
So HR has to take that into account because sometimes people are in a consensual relationship with someone who is above them in the food chain, and because of that power dynamic, they say yes, but maybe they felt like they had to do it. Now, I don't know anything about this person's relationship.
And that's possible.
You know what I'm saying?
That's possible. I'm not saying that's not possible. Yeah. That's totally possible. And if that's the case, and she comes out and says that, okay.
Right. She's like, I mean, he's the head coach. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't know how that even. I don't know how it started.
Yeah, who knows?
So who knows? Is that a possibility? Absolutely, it's on the table. Okay, but barring that, okay, there is no grounds for a suspension. A heavy fine.
A year suspension.
A heavy fine. You want to fine the guy $500,000 for it? Fine the guy $500,000. You want to make a point? Fine the guy $500,000. Okay, do something like that. But sacrificing your entire team's season, which is basically what you're doing. And by the way, here's the other problem, Boston Celtics. I know that this has happened in the past with white executives, and nothing has ever been done. And I'm not the only one who knows. Stephen A. Smith knows, too.
What, he said that?
I can't divulge my source, but he's a former Celtic employee who was very good friends with my father. And he told him that on many occasions that stuff goes on in the office. He said, and his quote to my father is that it's like any other workplace.
Right.
It's been going on forever. They made a show, Mad Men, about it. This is bad. Are you kidding me? Dallas, going back to before he was born, that was all about JR having infidelity.
Changed.
No, they haven't.
No, things have changed in terms of like the rules. Like back then, like
they didn't care.
You could openly just
drink scotch in the office and smoke cigars.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. No, I get that. But the bottom line is it's been going on forever. And it's still going on to this day. And it was going on with the Celtics recently before Ime Udoka got there.
So you feel like...
I feel like somebody leaked this.
I wonder what race is the woman that is the relationship?
African-American.
Okay.
Well, the one female... Here's how quickly this got out. The one female executive in there is an African-American woman. So it's got to be her.
She's an executive?
She's somewhere. She's a staffer. She's somewhere she's up there.
She's an executive then.
I mean, either way, the question is,
if you're an executive,
you're
on the same level.
Is it consensual? By all accounts, it is. Now, again, to Tom's point, if this woman wasn't grilled by HR already, and maybe she wasn't.
I'm sure she already was.
All right, then she can come out and say, no, well, I kind of felt pressured because he's who he is. And that's a whole different story. But the headline has been consensual from everywhere. So if that's what it is, you have no grounds to suspend this man. I don't give a damn what your freaking rule book says. Okay, that's the dumbest. If that is in your rule book, that's like the NFL with there's no precedence for a man. Does there have to be a precedence for a man assaulting a woman? Are you kidding me? That's called common sense, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if someone sits there and they slog a woman on camera, he doesn't get 3 games. He gets suspended indefinitely.
But that's the thing though. Like
there's been no precedent
in the NFL. You could beat a woman.
You can beat a woman.
You could be accused
and get suspended. This guy has a consensual relationship. He's out for a year.
Yeah, I mean that is.
Are you kidding me? There's no appeals. Is there appeals? Are you kidding me? Deshaun Watson has 25 women.
And he got what?
And he got 11. He's going to play this season.
Okay, now, but that is what 3/4 of the season.
He's still going to play.
I know. But like
And then it's not consensual. It's not consensual. He's going to play. This is consensual. He gone.
Yeah.
He gone. You've got to be kidding me.
They got to bring out more information.
Wick Grossbeck, Brad Stevens, wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. You've got to be shitting me. Okay? This looks bad on every freaking level. And the fact that here's the other problem. Because Stephen A. Smith threw it out there. I ain't the first guy to say it, but I'll be the second. There have been white executives in that organization that have done this before. Not only was it never made public, we don't even know of a slap on the wrist. This should have been kept in-house as well. This is an embarrassment. You don't bring out people's personal lives because of a code of conduct policy when it was consensual. You keep that behind closed doors. You fine them, you warn them, and you go back to work. And you don't sacrifice your team's season. That's ridiculous. Is that fair to Jaylen Brown? Is that fair to Jason Tatum and Marcus? What are you supposed to tell them? Honestly. Because this reeks of a couple of that word that starts with the R, okay? And I'm a white guy saying who's a diehard Boston Celtics fan. You need to get your head out of your fucking asses. Okay? This is unacceptable and inexcusable. So you think
a white coach in this position, it would be different?
I believe that if this was a white guy, it would have never been made public, given it was consensual. If it wasn't, and she's finally, then it's going to go public because it's against her. Right. Yeah, and at that point, if that's what he did, yeah, okay, I get that. But now you've destroyed 3 lives.
But like, if that's what he did, just get him out.
Get him out of there.
You wouldn't even want him as your coach.
No, you don't. That's exactly.
You know, the weird part is,
absolutely,
you're right. Suspending him for a year, but then he's still going to
I don't get it.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
Need to hear more information about the relationship. I think
there has to be more that we're not being told because this doesn't make any sense. And I tell you right now, in the next 40 hours, something better come out that does make sense. Because right now you look like a bunch of racist, elitists, who have the audacity. You got to be kidding me. For a consensual relationship between 2 mature, intelligent, obviously successful adults. I can't understand this. Consensual relationships. Oh, the humanity.
Oh, the humanity.
What the fuck is this planet coming from? You can call me old school if you want, Tom, but it's shit like this, that drives an old school guy like me up. What the? Are you fucking kidding me?
But from a workplace standpoint, and this is just to, it's like the HR department is thinking of like risk. Okay, so when 2 employees engage in a relationship, and like we said, if this is a situation where he is higher up than this person, if they don't do anything about it, they risk that chance of like, well, if something goes south in that relationship, and then the person in the lower power end of the power dynamic wants to say, hey, I was coerced, I was pushed into this relationship, or I was fired because then I wanted to break up with this person. Now the organization is at risk of a lawsuit. And I think that's sometimes why HR does things like this.
Well, that's where the hefty fine and the warning comes in.
That's true.
Because you can hit him with a $500,000 fine. That'll knock that off quick.
Yeah.
You don't have to suspend the guy to get your point across. You don't. You can give him a hefty fine. And if it's I get it. I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished. I'm saying the punishment doesn't fit the crime if the crime is what we're hearing the crime is.
That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
We do need more info.
We need more info. But I'm telling you, as it stands right now, and everybody's been all over them, because the Celtics are the favorite to win the title this year. Okay?
Yeah, that would be a pretty big issue.
Oh, my God, would that be a big issue.
And I was reading that his top assistant went to Utah.
Yeah.
So the person who has come in is not his... I mean, it's his top assistant now.
It's his second assistant.
Right, it's his second.
Yeah. So, and he's got a pretty good reputation. They're saying he's going to be a head coach one day. That's all well and good. But right now, you're trying to win a title right now. Mm-hmm. And you have the pieces to win a title right now. Yeah. And this is not the fault of the 12 guys, 15 guys in that roster. And now you're punishing them.
Yeah.
And that ain't fair. That is not fair. Okay, so if this is what it sounds like right now, again, he's right. We have to hear more information. We better hear something in the next 40 hours to justify this.
As they make the press conference about the suspension, I think that's when they'll expand on what
they better, because if I hear that, if that's all I hear, you're going to hear something up there in your house with the shower on. Okay. I'm RJ Miliaccio. That is Tom Izzo. We have a fun football night ahead of us. Hey, tune in to this game. Pierogies. We have some pierogiing to do. So we got to get cooking. We will see you on the backside on Sunday at some point. Have a good weekend. Hope your fantasy teams do well. I got to get a win. I'm 0-2 and lose well. I did kick the shit out of Gary in the league. what he did to me, I did to Gary. It was beautiful. So it wasn't all bad. Anyway, I got to get off to Schneid this week in the SAC League. So you guys have a great night. We will see you in 72 hours.
Bong.
Peace.
All right.
Let's get that down there.
That was good. All right, I'm going to go.